Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the great shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg. This is
Human fucking disaster, Matt Strange. And this is...
Possibly killed by the Blair Witch Muir.
How have you both been today?
All right.
I can clarify. I'll give a rundown of, I think, me and Muir from my perspective of this morning. So I woke up today going, gotta watch the last 40 minutes of Dark, do the social media stuff, and then I'm pretty much ready. Get my notes down for some angry shouting. But then instead, I thought I'd just fucking yeet my foot at full fucking speed into the set of cast iron weights, and I've possibly broken it. And then I've sort of wandered about like that. Then I get a message from Muir going, "Help, I think I'm lost in a forest. You might have to come save me." And I'm like, "I'm not coming to save you." So Muir fucking Blair Witched, saved only by his love of witchcraft technology. I've just fucked up my entire day. I'm now officially the least badass. What we had in a conversation a couple of weeks back, Morg broke his foot before the show. He broke his foot overnight, got up and he was like, "Lads, I broke my foot, I'm going to hospital." And we were like, "Yeah, no worries, Morg." And he was like, "Might have to put the show back, might have to put the show off." And we're like, "No problem, you fucking take your time." Gets back half an hour early, starts the show early, he's fucking prepped. He's aced it.
About it, just does the show normally. Us, I'm lost in a forest.
Oh, I've banged my foot. Morg, you're officially the most badass of us now.
Yeah.
we're the guys who actively do training.
I actually broke my foot that morning.
Yes. You've outdone us. There's going to be so much improvisation in this show, boys. It's going to be
fine. We've all done enough improv in our time.
So this might be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we rate the matches in Dynamite, Dark and BTE overall. That tier list will now be explained to you by Mr. Strange in some format.
Possibly.
Yeah, boys, this is the one thing I've actually got ready because it was fucking easy because I picked something I like. So, tier lists. If you're a nerd, you'll probably recognize them from Japanese computer games, from various channels on YouTube. Not quite super mainstream, but it's well known in the nerdy thing. Comes from a school ranking system in Japan. We work up in letters or down. A is the potential. We go from D, bad, A, really good, S, fucking amazing. And we're going to go through each of these in scale in the form of classic Autobots from the Transformers cartoon. Yes.
G1s.
I think some of them might be up to G3, but it's the stuff we remember from the 80s and 90s. I'm not going to say any name that anybody who watched Beast Wars will get, shall we say. D-rank match. D-rank match, you've had a bad time. You've basically not enjoyed this. The wrestling is subpar and bot-terrific. There's no plot. It's a squash match. You've played on your phone and you don't care. You're not remembering this match. Just like my least favorite Autobot, Skylinks.
Oh.
Doesn't even turn into a fucking robot. He's like a big chicken thing that turned... I hate him. Didn't he have an enunciated English accent? God, what a twat. Fuck you, Skylinks. And John, who likes Skylinks, who won't listen to this because he doesn't like wrestling, but fuck you, John, and fuck Skylinks.
Is this just your personal grievance podcast now, like the Father Ted's award speech?
Where are you now, John? C-rank match. This is what we should expect to be an average match. This means it should be good. We should be entertained. The wrestling should be solid. There should be enough story going into it and coming out that we care. It's not going to blow your mind, but you gave a fuck all the way through. And I've got to give it on the C scale. I've got to give it to Bumblebee. Realistically, I mean, is there a better example of your average Autobot than Bumblebee? He's the C-rank Autobot. He's the scale we put him at. The next three categories are all top of my top three Autobots anyway. So this is just nepotism and me doing your speech. You're not wrong.
You're always nepotistic. We know that.
A B rank takes something to the next level. Maybe the wrestling is phenomenal, but the story is there. Maybe the story's just great, but the wrestling's just standard fare. You know, it's above what you expect, and you've had a good time. You've not really looked away. And I'm giving it to Wheeljack, because Wheeljack was not only a good fighter, he had some skills that would come up in story plots, but he was never like story wanked at you. He had a cool look with his glowy mouth and his big ear bits.
I like Wheeljack. He was my favourite.
He's one of like the 4 toys I've still got. And 3 of those are Dinobots.
You know where your heart is.
I know where my heart is. Yeah, Wheeljack got story, got relevance, but nobody's ever really going, wow, can't wait to see that Wheeljack scene. An A-rank match is just great in every way. The story's there, or then the wrestling's there. You don't look away. It's the match of the night, possibly the match of the month. Or one category can be phenomenal. Maybe the story's only so-so, but you watch that match and you were like, shit. It's like the surprise Kenny versus Trent match from a few months back.
That was
where
good.
we were just like, God, this is immense, because they just had a Japan
match.
And I'm obviously giving it to my personal favourite Transformer, Grimlock. Name me one person who doesn't love Grimlock the Dinobot. The character who comes across as dumb, but is actually not too dumb. He's strong enough to get things done, but he never quite dominates the main plot, unless you read the 1990s Marvel comic series. Grimlock. Everybody loves Grimlock. Everybody loves an A-rank match. The S-rank match is, of course, the best match of the year. It's the match you remember, you shout about it. Maybe it's blown some paradigms and taken things in a new direction. Maybe it's the wonderful accumulation of a story that will twist things on its head. S-matches are those matches you talk about for ages, like the entrance of 98 Kane. And obviously it's Optimus fucking Prime. The character's dope. His voice is awesome. They've never replaced him. He's got old war veteran history. He fucking sacrifices himself. Optimus Prime is a wicked fucking character who does cool things all the time and is basically why people like Transformers.
He's too good for the series he's in.
He is. He's fun. There's in with the comics when the war ends and he gives up being the leader because he only knows war and he's like, I can't be a good peace leader. I'm a soldier. God, that's good writing. It's not just he's leader, man.
Cincinnati style, yeah, it's perfect.
He's one of the few leaders in a.
You like him the most.
That he's actually generally the favourite character.
We were discussing this, how favourite characters are normally not the main character because we're watching.
Whose favourite turtle is Leo?
No one.
No one's. Oh no, you're a Donatello.
It was mainly because he was the best one to play in the arcade game.
Yeah, he had that reach.
Yeah, he had reach.
Even Splinter looks disappointed with Donatello. You're going to be ninjas, boys. I want to make things, but ninjas? It's a nerd argument I have with people. We can have we'll tune back for Matt Strange rips on 80s cartoons in the future. We all know wrestlers the best.
The series we needed.
So that's our tier list. Skylinks through to Optimus. Check back for our cartoon podcast next month.
So now it's time we move on to the news, and this week has been very quiet. I certainly haven't managed to find anything particularly newsworthy. I don't know whether you guys have.
Not really. I did find it funny that Kenny Omega watched SmackDown, but other than that...
Yes, that was our big news, wasn't it?
It's not really big news, but it was just funny that everyone was like, oh, someone's playing a joke that it's Kenny Omega in the crowd, because, like, you know, people were putting, like, Chris Benoit execution videos and stuff like that in it. So you can't expect them not to have done something like that. And Kenny's just like, no, it was me. I was just trying to enjoy myself.
If you are one of our viewers who watches WWE Live and watches the Thunderdome, as funny as it is, putting aside the moral objectivity and how things could be contrived as very wrong, and you shouldn't put things people don't like on the internet. As funny as it is, they will pass the fines on to you.
Yeah.
So don't do it unless you're rich or you've got a really good VPN. And don't do beheadings and stuff. Keep it just like lightly edgy. You know, we're happier with that. I mean, just hi there. Welcome to Matthew Strange Explains Morals and Ethics on the Internet. Bait
There are
people,
no
but don't
morals and
bait
ethics
people
on
to
the
push.
internet. Morals are subjective, mate.
Just be a Bethesda character. You put that picture of Hulk Hogan spraying an N up. Right. Yeah, don't be too much of a dick, but give him a light troll. Don't get yourself fined.
Yeah, see, this was must have been absolute gods. If we were at like one of the YouTube video channels, this would have been a godsend because clickbait wise, our title would have been Kenny Omega appears on SmackDown.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
hate those videos. Fuck them.
I can't watch YouTube.
No, I hate YouTube now. It's one of the reasons I started watching Stardom because no one spoils Stardom. I can actually enjoy it when I want to enjoy it.
Wait till it takes
Oh,
off.
bless you. Yeah, well, now that... Yeah, go on, more quick. Get the podcast back on run.
Well, you like...
Okay, and now we move on to our review of the week, and we start, as always, with BTE or Being the Elite. What did you think of Being the Elite this week?
Well, as this is completely the first time we've done this section talking about this week's Being the Elite.
Like you know what you're talking about now.
And as I'm an incredibly organised person who definitely has a reviewed comment section working down this, and I'm not working on the fly that our recording cut out, and Muir's already said all this, and I can now parrot it like I actually know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's quite fun seeing the Dark Order, like getting their little moments of being pushed. I am worried that they're going to overdo them, though.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry, audience. I'm literally parroting what Muir opened
No, it's
before
good.
our fucking things collapsed.
I love my favourite thing was Brody just go, can't I just have one good night? That's just NBCing at LARP summed up.
I like how they're sliding Alan Angels into the side of John Silver and the Idiots, so it will be balanced.
Yeah. Ten's being built up now, which is good.
Mate, look at him. Look at him. He's beautiful. The weird canonity that it now sort of ties into the 6 lawnmowers were on the show.
I kind of like the idea that the Dark Order are a bunch of goofs when they're hanging out together, but then they like take you a bit more seriously when they go out.
Yeah, I just view it now as like a 1980s Batman villain, and Brody is the villain, and he has some good minions, and he has a bunch of
terrible minions.
Some stupid minions who are always there. I mean, Reynolds and Silver are literally the Monarch's minions from Venture Brothers. I mean, literally,
yes,
and it's wonderful. So yeah, I think we're still
happier.
I
love the best friends with Brandon.
Double joke on it was great because when Brandon saw the little note, he went, "Well, it says D&D on it, so I won it," and picked it up. I was like, "That is legit what D&D fans are like."
It was beautiful.
Good little nerd joke. Was it on BTE? We had the falling out of Brandon and Avalon about cheating and stuff. Was that on someone else? Have I invented that?
No, that definitely happened. But we went back to the Dark Order after that for the more riding mowers and 10 actually talking, which was good.
Yeah.
Then we had the Christopher Daniels I bumped and I can't get back up. That's apparently on the advert. I've fallen and can't get up, which was beautiful.
Ultimate Dad Christopher Daniels is wonderful. And yeah, his sections are great.
Then we had the ridiculous Spanglish section that went on for too long, in my opinion.
They're losing it a bit.
Yeah. And why is Jake Hager now rock hard Jake Hager? I don't want to know that.
You know he only wears pants to the ring, and
I don't need to know he's rock hard as well, mate.
Not that I'm looking at his dick, but that man is basically wearing boxers out to the ring when he goes. And I'm like, oh, his dick. There it is. You know, I suppose if you're worried about seeing men's dicks, you wouldn't be watching wrestling realistically, would you?
I loved the Medusa bit. The Medusa bit ruined me, but that's...
Oh, the shit meta joke.
The shit meta joke just fucking ruined me. And Hangman is wasted in wrestling. I'm saying he should have been an actor instead of a wrestler.
More on that later.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the best of them. Like, I honestly, that the boy has got legs. I can't wait for his singles push.
No, I fucking loved. I mean, just going, "Are you happy? Why you turned into stone?" I love that overacting that he does. I just fucking.
And I can't wait for Kenny to be the cleaner. The cleaner was so cool and not at all a terrible comedy character.
No.
Kenny's very good at serious.
Yes, mate. And yeah, that was basically it. I really enjoyed it, but I'm worried it's like the precipice of the Dark Order getting too much time and becoming a bit too silly. But I don't know.
I'm on you.
I think the problem they've been the best thing on Dark for
they are carrying the show at the moment. Yeah.
We didn't have a private party dead ass scene though, so that was nice.
That was good. Yeah. I'm glad
I just thought about that.
We haven't had that for the last 2 weeks. I don't think. I think they might have just dropped that.
It wasn't working.
It wasn't hitting. But yeah, it was all right. Like, if we didn't have 2 hours of Dark and then a 2-hour show, I would say definitely watch this BTA. I'd watch this over Dark myself. I think it was a lot more fun, and you're going to get a lot more out of it.
We'll be moving on to Dark shortly, and what I saw, I've got some positive words about, but the overall thing, we'll get there in a sec. It's all right.
So BTE, C, B?
C, it was fine, but I think we're going to need, we're currently doing highs and lows as they're bouncing things, but they seem to get an idea and then hold on for it for too long. It's okay to have a few weeks off an idea. I loved Spanglish at the start. Just have a break, think up something cooler. You don't need to jam one in for the sake of...
You don't have to do it just because you do it every week. You know, you can drop it and then bring it back in once you've got a good idea.
Give them a break. Yeah. You know, even Harry Enfield had a selection of sketches he'd rotate through. Have some time.
So, moving on from BTE, we come on to, this is going to be the interesting review. We come on to Dark. This week's Dark was 2 hours long.
No, I've had enough of this.
It was longer than the main show.
Yeah.
It was, I'll go through what's going to happen on this now, as this has mostly been the podcast of me talking about what a worthless prick I am. AEW, my first Dark. My first note is, Christ, 2 hours. My plan was to watch half of this last night, get up this morning and watch the last half, but then I fucking punted a set of weights. And so I have seen up to possibly what are meant to be the best matches. All the matches I have seen aren't bad, and let's fucking go through this. I will note that my first note is I'm going to tally matches where I don't know the winners beforehand.
Yeah.
There are no tallies on this board. We opened with Some Guys versus the Best Friends.
Are we shocked that the Best Friends won this?
No, even the lady announcer thought it was funny. I forgot, is it Vader Scott?
Vader, yeah.
Yeah,
she's okay. You know, she's no Excalibur with Taz, but, you know, I'd rather see her, Taz, and Excalibur. That would be great.
When the other tag team came in, she was like, oh, but these are just 2 guys just thrown together. They're not even, you know, even she was like, how are they going to win?
She was burying them before they even came out. And it's like, why do we need this match then? We know the Best Friends are going to win it. We know the Best Friends are around medium power level. Why do we need to see them beat some jobbers? We know they can beat jobbers. Don't show us this match.
Have been anything else. That being said, the match was actually solid. Yes. Jackson's actually really good. Chuck and Storm had a load of great fun together when they were wrestling, if you watch that. The actual interactions of how they handled each other were quite comfortable. It was solid.
A match that could have got over someone. Like,
exactly.
It could have been used or just not had it. You know?
No, I'm with you. And I love the Best Friends.
Yeah, exactly. Then we had Jesse Sorensen versus Spears.
Right, I am the Spears defendant in our podcast, I think. I am the man who likes
him enough.
And this match was solid Sean Spears. And I liked Spears, but I feel like I've seen that match 100 times now.
I did just write Spears match after it. It was just his match. He just has a match. And it's like, I don't think he does well at the, ooh, I'm a badass. I think he's a comedy character.
He's a goofy dork.
Yeah.
It's all right. That they are literally just doing this to tally up his wins so he can join the 4 Horsemen.
Yeah.
It's that obvious. It was a good match, but I've seen it. It didn't need to be there. I could have had a week off, and I like Sean Spears. I'm his
the same as the best friends match, and then we would have had 20 minutes off this show, and it would have felt a bit better. But yeah.
Then we had the Cake versus, and my notes say, "Oh no, it's Mel."
Yep. No,
fucking
Mel.
Red Velvet is getting herself fucking over. Her facial expressions, her body language in the ring during moves coming out.
What a waste.
What a shame. We've been watching a lot of Gordon Ramsay videos, Morg, so what a shame has become just like a common thing to say now, so you know. You'll have picked it up next week.
It's just like, what they doing? Are they going to try and put Mel over to work with Brandy? She's not good enough to carry Brandy. What they going to do? Like, what's the point of this? You know?
Brandy fears Velvet.
Yes, that's what I said last week. Brandy fears Velvet. She's just better Brandy. Yeah.
She's a cake. And I don't know. I mean, I've pretty much been. I didn't realise her the first time, did I? You two had to point out to me that her gimmick is she's a cake.
She's a cake, yeah.
And I fucking love it now. I'm like, she's a fucking cake. Come on. Yeah, the match wasn't great. You can skip that one.
I had that one down. I had that one down because I specifically noted the women's matches because you were always.
Oh, more women's expert. Sorry, it's a.
So I had all the women's matches are all graded, all got C's. Mel was much crisper in the ring than she's ever been, and was a better monster heel than she's ever been. Actually, felt like a monster heel. She didn't fit. Nothing was stunted. Whether that was more on Red Velvet actually being a better opponent for her, I'm not sure.
That's all we've got to say there, Morg. If suddenly someone looks a lot better in a match, it's going to be because of the other person in the ring, ain't it?
Ish, but she was a lot crisper. Her moves were a lot crisper. He was on point.
I just don't care about Mel now. After you've given me like,
you don't need her. We've got Kylin.
Yeah,
Kylin does everything she does better. More on that later. D3 versus Archer. I've decided I love D3 because he sort of reminds me of what would happen if Teenage Me did a fusion dance with Muir, because Muir's like a Rome weeb. Muir fucking loves Rome and Roman culture. You'll pick this up occasionally if you listen to the podcast. And this fucking little Roman dude coming out with his mohawk and his chest showing cosplay Roman armor. God, it's good.
Yeah. My only note for this match was poor Kevin Owens getting chucked in the ring at the start, but
I like the fact Lance has worked on his no sell. I know Morg is not a fan of Lance in the same way I am, but I've got that slightly more Japanese fan sort of style wrestling. And I like the fact that he's worked on rolling with the punch, then looking back like it didn't hurt him, as opposed to just, taking it in
just standing there and pretending it didn't hit him. Yeah.
And D3 is a top tier seller. He was a fucking
bro. Yeah, he was great. I want to see more of D3. I really enjoyed him.
Otherwise, once again, skippable. It's Lance doing Lance things. He's just getting
it's a Lance match.
Luther and Serpentico versus the Initiative. The Initiative did not deserve to lose to this team. This match should not have been on the card.
No, it's just made the Initiative look like dorks. Like, I know they are dorks, but you know what I mean? They used to be the dorks that couldn't beat, like, the real teams.
Technically... technically the match was fine.
Yeah.
But there was no reason to have a fight, and the swing book hit Brandon. We've seen them lose in so many ways now. It just felt cheap. I think we could have just had a match off, just had a week off with them, and not seen them lose to a more squash team.
Yeah. Why did they need to have this match?
Morg, this match actually matters. Give us an opinion.
When they came out as Pentagon, I was like, no, this is the team. This is one of the teams they should be either having their first win over or something like that. The match was good. There were a few moments when I actually thought, oh, this is not all the way through it. I was sitting there going, this isn't the match for the Initiative to get their first win. This really
on a pay-per-view.
They need that on a pay-per-view or versus the Bucks, like we said originally. The problem is, so even though it was getting to those points, I was going like, ooh. So there was some really good last-minute kickouts mainly by Luther. you can tell he's the more veteran, and I mean proper. Me and the Raptor always refer to them as AJ Styles, Prince Puma kickouts, because those two are the masters of literally kicking out at the last nanosecond, and there were a lot of them. So credit to Luther, who I've not been a big fan of, but should not have been facing these two. They should be always facing top tier
characters.
Main of it, not other dark jobbers.
They could have just had one off. Would have been fine.
Yeah,
and I love Avalon.
Could have put them against Private Party.
Yeah, you could have put them against anybody with a name, or just left them off the card. But that's been the story of this whole thing. This whole show up to now has been we could have just not had this match.
Right, okay, a match I'm actually interested in. Kylan King versus Nyla. My notes are quite short because I've just noted that it was a solid match. Actually, I was all right with it. But it was really nice to see somebody who could strength compete with Nyla.
Yeah.
It wasn't Nyla is the beast for once.
These two have chemistry. This was a good match. I quite enjoyed this.
Nyla Loki has been getting so much better. Like from the start, was terrible, and now is actually quite good and can carry a match. So I'm, credit where it's due. But yeah, I don't know, because I think they don't really know what to do with Nyla at the moment, because now they got Vicky Guerrero with her. It's all a bit weird for me. I don't see the point.
Vicky. Should have given Vicky to one of the newer lasses who aren't so good on the mic, and it would have been wicked. And I hate Vicky Guerrero.
But you're meant to hate her.
My eyes. Yeah, but no, genuinely makes my shit itch.
Yeah. She's horrendous.
I am worked.
What do you think? What do you think they should have done?
Amin's expert. Over to you.
As I say, I thought the two of them had chemistry. It was a good match. I liked the fact that Nyla had to cheat to win. Indirectly, that Vicky got involved. I like that. If you're going to have a manager, use the manager. I don't think Nyla needs a manager. Nyla can talk, but it's another one of these things. So it seems to be a thing in AEW. Let's give this guy a manager, but that guy can talk.
The only reason you need a manager is if you're Brock Lesnar or someone of that.
If you can't talk, but you go in the ring, and it's the idea of that you get some. Sorry, excuse me. You get
it's fine.
That person who can do the talking for you. You hide the negative, accentuate the positives. Interesting that Roman Reigns has just allied with, just to skip to WWE.
I was going to just bring this up now because that's
with
perfect.
Paul Heyman. Roman's not a bad promo when you let. Well, he can when you let him be Roman when Vince McMahon hasn't written him. The problem WWE
he's all right
have
for the one-liners.
When he came out and said, "I'm Joe," that promo and the promos after that were amazing. It was when he's speaking from the heart. I don't understand why Nyla has a manager. It makes no sense. She's a fucking monster for a start, but she's a monster who can talk. There are other people on that roster who could probably have really done with a manager. I don't think Vicky would have been the right one for any of them.
No.
She
works with a shit-eating male heel, in my opinion.
Let's move on.
She'd have been a better manager for Ricky Starks.
Yeah, fair. That would have been quite hilarious.
He doesn't need one, but he's a pretty boy.
Yeah.
There he is. Right, I'm going to move us on because we've caught on this. Jobbers versus the Guns. Those two lads walked to the ring like they knew they'd lose. Aaron Black and the other one.
Frank Stone.
But and they're actually really good people. In the ring, they were solid. I obviously think Billy's hilarious, and I think the match needed more Billy, but I think this was more of a showcase of Austin. And Austin's finish.
What more could you want?
No, he got bounced. He jumped the Famouser, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't that count? But Austin's finisher, that hip toss spinning neck breaker cut thing is fucking cool. And I love it. It's quick. It looks dope when you watch it again. You watch it the first time, it just looks like a hip toss. But when you watch it, actually have eyes on it, it's like when Phoenix does a move. There's that extra spin drop in it, and it's cool as fuck. And I think they're building Austin up to be someone in the future. And I'm excited for this because I like dickhead baby faces.
Yep.
And he'll be great. The match was solid. Obviously, you can't care too much because you knew who was going to win. But yeah, Anybody got anything else on it?
It's just
No,
2 hours of very predictable TV, and it's just very hard to get through it all.
Yeah.
So
Though I do have
sorry.
to add to you guys, and next time he's in, I think it's Baron Black, but I'm not sure which of the two guys it is. But one of them, I'm sure he has the Empire logo from Warhammer on the back of his trunks. So you guys are gonna have to look
I
out
will
for that
check.
for me.
We are the
I'll look
correct
for that.
nerds. In fact, hold on. Was it Baron Black? Oop. I've got the internet
Right,
open.
let's carry on anyway.
The Monroe versus Ford. The match wasn't good and everything slipped up.
Yeah. The
I
dubbed
didn't-
leaf blowers was funny, but that's about it.
Morg, you're the women's expert. If you've got anything good to say on this, because we don't.
Hold your
all
peace
right.
now.
It was all right. There was a couple of botches.
It was very botchy.
It was a bit botchy. I don't know why you put someone who's basically got Penelope's gimmick in with Penelope.
It was the Dumonte versus Evilise problem, wasn't it? It was like, oh look, it's player 2 playing the same character. It was like, oh god, why are you doing this to us, boys?
Heather Monroe comes across as being that pretty girl heel. She'd be better off in a team with Penelope.
Be bored, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put them in a
It's a
team.
distinct lack. Sorry, boys, I've got to get this out because whilst I'm currently looking, I just need you to both know there's an incredible lack of pictures of Baron Black's arse on Google. So I'm going to have to power up the show later, I think.
What a right.
For shame.
Proud and Powerful versus the Metro Brothers.
Oh, I definitely watched this match.
So this is where we lose.
This is where I bunk out.
So it was a match. It was all right. I mean, it's Proud and Powerful being Proud and Powerful.
But we had like the Metro Brothers versus, Frank Stone and Baron Black, and built, 2 characters out of this.
Their stats don't matter. They're naught for something, and naught for something people fight people who need to get those win numbers up. Why would we make them fight each other to give them a power scale so their matches matter? Why would we do that? They're just extras here to be squished.
They're like the people in Lucha Underground that turned up for the, for the cutscenes. That's just what they feel like, and I'm just sick of it.
They're putties from Power Rangers.
They're fucking putties. You're right. It's just
is that the noise putties made?
Like, I was expecting 2 guys to come out in like Russian sort of trench coats and be from the Metro universe. That's what I was hoping when I saw.
That would be fucking cool as fuck.
That's what I was hoping for. So when I just saw these 2 lads from New York, I was like, oh.
If your gimmick was
2 stalkers to come out and fight them.
If your gimmick was fucking gas masks and like Russian World War trench coats, I'd be like, yes, these are people I can get behind.
Exactly. But yeah, it was just a Proud and Powerful match. Yeah, they're strong. Woo, look at them go. They've got another win under their belt. Whatever.
And then Best Friends came for a bit of a beat down to continue their story.
Yeah.
I'll look that bit up
at least there was a bit of extra story. Following on from that, we had Sean Dean versus Ricky Starks.
I'm actually mad I missed this one. I bet this was cool.
It's good. It's a good match. It's Ricky Starks and the captain Sean Dean.
But the issue is, I know who won this without having to watch it.
Yeah. Sean Dean definitely won.
Yep. I bet Ricky Starks was really good in there. I bet he gave Sean Dean some time to actually show himself off, unlike most Squatch matches, and I bet it was solid. But I could probably help review all these episodes from now on without watching any of them.
Yeah.
And this is a serious problem.
I'm going to review the next one, and Morg can tell me where I'm wrong.
So next was Marco Stunt versus Jake Hager.
Rock hard.
Rock hard, Jake
Big
Hager.
Stiffy, Big Stiffy Jake Hager. Well, I'm assuming Hager walked in, did some moves on him, punched him down a bit. It looked a bit threatening, but then Marco got up a bit of a defense and showed some tenacity and hit him back a couple of times. And then Hager hulked out of rage at Marco, made a mistake.
So starts off,
He just walk
Hager
in and kick the fuck out of it.
Hager gets down on one knee. Marco goes for the headlock, fails. Hager's showing off, telling him to get out of the ring in sort of half over the middle ring. So Marco goes and kicks the ring rope. Gets Hager right in the rock hard.
Okay.
Then Marco flosses for a bit. Hager gets annoyed, and then Hager just destroys Marco.
I was the other kind.
And then
Cool.
he threatens to punch Marco really hard, and the rest of Jurassic Express come out.
Build into the Luchasaurus match they're going to have at some point.
Yeah.
They'll build up that in the Battle Royale, obviously. That's where those two will clash heads.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm just so over Marco.
I'm just bored of him.
So next to that is Kip versus Kaz.
I'm sad
I bet this was good as well.
Now this was
I'm going to write down ones I should watch.
This is very
yes, mate.
This was very map-based technical start off.
Oh, nice.
Good showcase. Really good. Kaz wins, which I was a little bit gutted about.
I
would have
put Kip over here because he needs it. Oh well. You're banished to dark, are you, Kip?
I don't think Kaz doesn't need the win in a solo match. He's not.
No,
he's not Sky.
Kaz is quite content for what he's doing. Yeah.
So follow up.
If it was Sky, I would 100% agree with you. But why put Kaz over? He doesn't need it.
TH2 versus Joey and Sonny. Again, this was flippy as fuck.
Yeah.
Sonny and go on.
Sonny and Janela are actually getting like smoother because my issue with them was I was getting bored of really long sequences where it's like, okay, it's our 10 minutes in the ring to do a continuously flowing section, whereas TH2 are actually quite good at rolling in and out and improvising. I feel a bit like Sonny and Janela are a bit too scripted almost, or you get used to these same sections. That would be the criticism I had in my mind going into this. Maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, Morg. Are they learning to adapt more?
It depended. I mean, it was good.
No.
Sonny and
we know how nice you are, Morg.
Sonny and Jack Evans had some good moments. Obviously, that was very flippy. Lots and lots of high flying. Important news: TH2 won.
That is important.
Yes.
They can go over the dark jobbers. Woo!
Yeah. So overall, dark score C.
They need to get rid of some of these matches.
Just
give
so
me.
I'm hoping that this will be the last of these darks because we had an audience. So hopefully, dark will now go back to being dark.
Yeah. But
being the dark matches that it should be.
It's feeling like they've got to the WCW moment of when they had, an hour of Thunder and 3 hours of Nitro, and it just feels like they're just trying to fill time with these pointless matches. And it's just like, we don't need this.
Don't think a superhero's hard when he beats up the minions who are always beaten up. You think the superhero's hard when he beats the person he's beaten. My very first comic I ever bought was, trade comic I ever bought was the Batman Nightfall series. And I'm not a DC man. And Batman beat up lots of people. Break Batman's back. It was cool. You guys will have... People who aren't fucking nerds will have seen this in the last Batman film. And probably, I don't know, there's more. But the one with Bane in it. And then another person has to be trained up to be Batman and fight Bane. And you don't give a fuck when he's fighting the nameless lackeys. You care when he fights named people. Fuck it, give me lackeys on lackeys so at least they can get characters and some fucking mini rant with Matt Strange. Nobody cares about a person who's lost 17 matches fighting a person who's won the last 5. If that person who's lost 17 matches fought the person who's lost 12 consecutive matches, I will care more. If Lee Johnson fights Sean Dean, I'd be like, who will win? And then when they fight some of the other lower carders they're actually trying to build, I'd give a fuck about the victory and think, well, this guy's getting some wins now. Jesus
Oh,
shit. Cut out half of this and make us care.
Yeah, stop putting all your big stars on. Make your jobbers into stars.
Yeah. Some of them are good enough. They could be stars if you gave them the time and the effort.
Well, just
Like,
if they're
I'd
just
watch a Red Velvet versus Kylie King arc.
if they're gonna just be jobbers, then make them jobbers versus each other. Get the characters over and get them some wins, and then you feed them to the big. So yeah, if you go into a match and you go, oh yeah, well we know Sean Dean isn't going to beat Jake Hager. But you get someone lower down the card, so you put them against somebody lower down the card. You put them against someone like Marco, or
jobbing.
Oh, Marco.
Yeah, but someone like
Yeah,
that, Jungle Boy, some of the lower tier guys, and you won't be quite so sure.
Just make
and you put them
characters
against
power
good
scales.
people.
Take Quen out of a tag team and put him in a singles match and have him lose to Will Hobbs or whatever, and then you've not compromised your tag team.
But it's like, ooh, Will Hobbs has got a bit to him, hasn't he? Look at that.
Mate, he's dime-shaped.
Yeah, I
Coins
know.
will rain from the sky.
I agree with you, but they're not doing anything with him. Anyway, we can discuss this at the end. We can make a more discussion
moving on. So it is time now for Dynamite, and Dynamite opened with JR and Schiavone on commentary. Then Jericho joined them, and I cheered. I have missed the fans singing Judas.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, it's genuinely.
Now, there is a couple of things to specifically mention here. The person most over on this card, we'll get back to this later, is Mox, with the general crowd response.
Yeah.
It was Mox and MJF, and MJF as the heel and Mox as the baby face. But firstly, we had the opening, which was the gauntlet match, which started off with the Young Bucks versus the Natural Nightmares. The Bucks pinned QT to win. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it up until that point?
Where are my notes?
Before this, was anybody else's sound completely fucked for this?
It did sound very empty.
No, everybody on my sound was really high pitch and weird. It was really weird for the whole recording from Fight. I don't know if it's because I watched it basically when it just first came out and it was a bad recording or something. But mine was terrible.
I have production criticisms that will mostly be made about the last match. Okay, but no, my sound was fine.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm glad that other people actually had a good viewing experience, because that kind of put me off a bit. But anyway,
I think we need to bring back Matt's beard.
Oh God, no! They get hard to tell apart now. He's lost his beard.
He's the one who can do promos.
He's the one that can do promos, and the one that doesn't just come in and win. Yeah. I know.
First match was fine. That's literally my only note. I'm so over the Nightmare people.
I'm bored of the Nightmare people. They could go away and never come back, and I'd be happier as a human being.
It was a fine match technically, but it was not the opening match I'd have opened with. You've got fans back for the first time. You're doing a gauntlet match. I want you to blow my fucking mind with that first match.
I was so disappointed with this gauntlet. The whole thing I was really disappointed with. So, yeah, but let's carry on with that anyway. It was a solid enough match. They stopped more bang for your buck, which upset me. So, yeah, it was all right.
Morg, you got anything good to say about it beyond it was solid?
It was a C.
No.
Yeah, it was exactly a match, but it's, I want better.
So go on, carry on.
For a show where you had the ending that was so shocking of, Brody just destroying Cody, I expected the Dark Order to come out at the start of the show and be like, yeah, look at us, we're hard as nails, blah, 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 and build a new story arc.
More on that later.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, the Bucks pin QT. Then it was Best Friends versus the Young Bucks. Handman holds Nick Jackson's legs as Trent rolls up Matt for the win. What did you think of the match? What score did you give this part of it?
So, I love the Best Friends. We go through this quite a lot. We all know that.
We all love the Best Friends.
My first note is Chuck actually injured, or is it a plot which I missed? Because I didn't see him actually take an attack which injured his leg.
No, me neither.
He was just suddenly injured, and I was like, oh, I mean, he sold it really well. Like I was concerned it was genuine because he came out of nowhere and he was suddenly properly hobbling and would sit down and check his knee, and that's what a real injury is like.
Yeah.
In wrestling, I expect to see a bit of limb work before the injury. It then went into limb work, which I like. People started targeting the leg, which had spontaneously become injured. But he could
He
have
just lost 50% HP on that leg from nowhere, and then everyone fucked him on it.
It's all right because Trent has the second most hit points in all of AEW's. Yeah,
Not all
after
of wrestling.
Pentagon.
Pentagon in Lucha Underground.
One.
Is Trent the final ever step of the Bucks evolution tree? Do you go? Does your Nick Jackson evolve into a Matt Jackson, and then you give it the Japan stone, and it turns into a Trent? The match seemed quiet, but it was all technically fine. A lot of good stuff. Pacing could have been better. I think the match overall was once again a C. It was fine. It was good. It was what I expect. Taken down a bit by the spontaneous injury. But the story end was fucking wicked, and I loved it because Hangman's the best actor in AEW.
That's why I had it down as a CB because I had that bit.
The story arc of him wanting to not lose to the Young Bucks, so he sabotaged them because he'd rather lose to FTR if he has to lose, is real.
Does it take it to a B though?
No.
Or are we viewing the whole thing? No, it's a C, Strange.
It's a C match, but it was a really, really good story arc. I really like this story. Has been one of the best stories in wrestling.
Some long actual writing that makes sense.
It's been fantastic.
More on it later.
Yeah, anyway. And then FTR come down and beat up Chuck, and that's it.
Then Best Friends versus FTR with Tully. FTR win by submission. What did you think of the match? What score did you give it?
My first note on this one is due to Fight TV's fucking editing and AEW's production values being fucking shit in this episode. I didn't want to see the start to this match or the intro. I just wanted it to pan straight into Chuck having the shit kicked out of him. That's how I know a good wrestling match, when you don't need to see the wrestlers move into the ring.
No.
I'd give it a more of a limb work bonus, but the injury just sort of appeared. The best part of this gauntlet match was the middle match. The first match was meh and didn't blow my mind, and the last match they just wandered down and kicked fuck out of Chucky. Meh.
It was really disappointing because when I saw this being booked, I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be real good. I'm going to really enjoy this," and it was just very meh. I don't know. Maybe I was expecting too much. I don't know.
I don't know if maybe the editing. Did you guys miss FTR coming to the ring due to a black screen when the break was meant to be?
No, because I had this.
Oh, okay.
Because in my recording that was terrible also, but a different recording, I got them and they stood in the ring for a while. Then they ambushed them, and then it cut to the commercial break. So at the start of the match, they basically had them attack them, then go to break, and it was like, what the fuck is this?
Did you get the intros, Morg?
To be honest, I cannot remember.
That's how great this match.
One thing I was very disappointed about was they were talking about picture-in-picture, and we didn't get any picture-in-picture on Fight TV.
Picture-in-picture.
We didn't get any picture-in-picture on Fight TV.
I'm on Fight TV, but then I had the sound issue to counteract it, so I
think Muir got to watch it before they edited it down, and we got to watch it post-editing.
Yeah.
Because when it cut back to the match, they tried to show you what had happened in the break.
Yes.
But they were showing you what was happening at the same time as what had happened. And I'm not going to lie, guys, not great for following a fucking story. Watch now and then at the same time. But how will I know what's led to what? Just fucking figure it out.
It was very poor.
Wrestling was fine, though.
Yeah, the wrestling was good. I liked the solid limb work. It was really good old smashing storytelling, but,
I don't know. I might have to give the ending a D just due to bad pacing and bad editing. The product I watched was not complete and did not entertain me.
Yeah.
Morg?
I gave it a C just from what we knew. But I can't disagree with you. But I don't want to blame. I don't want to blame the wrestling for Fight TV's
we have to view
terrible.
This as a TV show.
It's a TV show, not the wrestling.
I'm giving the last one a D, boys.
Yeah,
I'll accept it.
You are a multi-million-dollar wrestling company.
Yeah.
Hire some fucking good cameraman and sound people. It's not hard. It's not hard. People have been making TV shows for, I don't know,
100 years?
Almost 100 fucking years. And it's not always been perfect, But you know what? When you've got the power of editing, when you have a bunch of... could just re-fucking cut it. Jesus Christ, we made it through silent movies. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, let's carry on. This was disappointing because we all expected better, and I don't think the product was very good.
And we have had a slight issue there. Well, that will have cut off part way through. We will now return back to where we were in Dynamite.
Which was screaming.
Yeah.
Angry screaming. Let's take this as a moment to calm
definitely
ourselves.
a D match, but yeah.
FTR versus the Best Friends was not the best match and was essentially crippled by bad production values. And as much as we would like to let the wrestlers off and the story writing off, when you are presented with a product, you judge that product. And if you give me a jumbled bunch of it's the same reason Firefly apparently failed. Not just the fact it was mediocre. People say it failed because when it was released, they released all the episodes in a jumbled order so you could not follow the canonical story, and that caused Firefly to fail and become a cult fucking classic. If you fuck up your production and people don't like your product, that's on you. You've made a bad product. Sorry, guys. The last match, you ruined it by not fucking hiring professional TV people, I suppose. Yeah. Best just to clarify everything we've just been through rather than going back to screaming.
Let's carry on. I'm bored
So,
of shouting about this match.
Following on from that, we had a Darby Allin video promo. We're back to the Guinness promos.
Quite like this one.
Oh, I thought this one was more like a perfume advert because he's gone to a bit more like uplifting music. And
yeah, okay.
Do you remember the Johnny Depp sausage perfume?
The sausage adverts, yeah,
the sausage adverts for Johnny Depp's perfume, where it's just Johnny Depp looks across a beach in black and white. Most artistic music plays.
I still think it was better than his recent ones, even if.
It was shorter and conciser. Yeah. I'm going to make fun of it, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Darby Allin jumps off high things.
He does hurt himself
music
today. As he does.
You're our Resident Evil. You're our Resident biggest Darby, Morg. What did you think of the perfume advert?
It was nice to go back to the Guinness adverts. It was all right. I didn't bother rating it. It got the message across.
Darby things.
Following on from that, Lance Archer versus Sean Maluta. Archer wins with the EBD claw. It was short, it was quick, it was a D.
Was not needed again.
Right, so I've got the new idea of every time I see them at the ring now, I wonder if Lance has drawn on Jake after that promo.
Yeah.
Yes,
mate.
And I was like, I mean, you can never know. My actual biggest note is Morg's gonna fucking hate this. And I wasn't wrong.
No, Morg deserves to hate this.
Jake's teeth are back to being extra shiny. Or literally all I can do is, and I like Lance matches typically. I think he needs something more to do. I've not even written down the name of his opponent. And he needs a second set of fucking lines. I mean, this was the main joke we were going. Like Lance said, everybody dies about a good 30 times.
It's say the line Bart now. It's getting like, and I'm starting to lose it. Like I like Lance.
The main issue, in fact, I'm going to save this when we move on to the Jake promo, which we'll do next. And I look at my Jake promo notes, and about 3 times I've just written his fucking teeth. They're so white. Yeah, the match was bad. It was. We've seen good Lance squashes, and this was not what we were after. It was not. He did chin an extra though, so that I thought he wasn't going to for a bit. So that always gets +1, but we can give it I'm not even adding it to the rank list.
No, it's just...
So, yeah, then we had a Jake Roberts, Lance Archer in-ring promo. Team Taz interrupt. Darby Allin runs in and attacks Ricky Starks. What do you think of the section?
Why are they the Flintstones? I don't get it. I'm sorry if I'm being slow, but why are they the Flintstones?
No idea.
Jake doing things. Yeah, Jake is surprisingly massive.
Yes, that was the one problem. Yeah, don't put Cage in the ring when the old guy is bigger than Cage.
Right, so in this one,
Cage
Lance
did not look big and scary.
Not against Lance and
I've got a bunch of issues
Not against
with this
Jake.
I know.
section.
What's your
I've got a
issues, boy?
selection of issues with this, and I don't know. I think I liked this entire section, and I've got fucking issues with it, but I laughed all the way through.
It was stupid as fuck, but it was so WCW. I kind of enjoyed it.
My two sets of notes are: Lance, throwing people doesn't kill them. If he's gonna win this Royal Rumble. Everybody dies. Lance, throwing people out of a ring doesn't kill them. In fact, Lance, you have killed precisely 0 people.
We know.
He's not even killed one man. He comes to the ring, throws some bang, kicks fuck out of him.
Even
That's
my
great.
Janae's killed men.
Possibly multiple.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I think it's a mistranslation because if you watch anime or read anything Japanese, shouting "I'll kill you" and "you're gonna die" is very anime, and it probably. But whenever you translate like a fucking title from a Japanese anime to English, it stops being badass, and you get stupid fucking name,
From the
TV
Tiger
series.
Fist.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the problem. I think Lance's gimmick was fucking cool as shit in Japan. And now he's come over here and hasn't killed a single man while shouting everybody dies. And as much as I love his fucking cutscenes of him hurling... I mean, that man he threw into the ceiling might be dead. But yeah, no.
But anyway.
Does Lance kill people and has he written on Jake? Other favourite things. Cage waved his belt that he didn't win in Lance's face. That was pretty hilarious.
My belt that I was given.
Darby, and it was just the fact people just kept randomly interrupting.
Mate, it was so WCW. I loved it. It was just like overbook it more. Who else can come out in this scene? It was great.
Darby knocked fucking Ricky Starks out of his shoes, which
that made me piss. I'm not gonna lie. That ruined me.
Then why did nobody help Ricky?
No, just leave him get beaten up.
Like, he's being dragged off a cage. Taz like, yeah, our boy's badass. That skinny goth man's kicking fuck out of him. He's knocked him out of his shoes. Please help, guys. We're a big evil heel team. No, I have to promo it Jake. His fucking teeth. I think it was great, but was it good? No. I need you, boys.
No, it wasn't terrible. It was WCW trash overbooking, really? But I enjoyed it.
Oh, come on, Morg. You've got it. Well, we've only criticised it in a way that we think is great, but we think it's great and shit, which is that uncomfortable, magical place.
Unfortunately, I just thought it was very stunted, and you had some great talkers in there who failed to talk very well.
Yeah.
The Derby run-in, when there's 4 of them, made no fucking sense. And with you said, nobody went over and helped, which would have been, that would have been an interesting. That would have been an interesting story. Oh, all of a sudden, Lance and Cage and Team Taz and Lance Archer are maybe on the same page against Darby. Then you could have had a really good story and set up. But
just
no,
shit.
Just let Starks get beat. I had no issue with Starks getting beaten up. Heel getting his comeuppance is fine, but that wasn't the place to do it.
We just watched.
Just everybody let him die.
Oh god. I really wanted somebody else to run out and take out Darby. That would have fucking made it for me.
What? Just more and more people coming out. That would have been great.
I said you've got everybody who's in the battle royal out there.
One at a time.
All 21 of them just jumping each other. Yes.
No, all 20, because we know we're going to have one surprise entrant.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry.
God. Which WWE guy will it be?
I want Rusev, but apparently Rusev is done with wrestling.
Carney.
What?
Everyone's a Carney in wrestling. They're always,
Right, okay, I don't think we can rank the moment because it was shit, but we got so much entertainment out of it. I don't think I can legit give it a D. I think it has to exist in neutral C.
Me, yeah.
It's bollocks, but it's not good bollocks, but it was funny.
It's like watching a terrible movie with your mates.
Sorry, Morg. Go on, mate.
Following on from that, we had a Thunder Rosa and Shida video promo. I thought it was okay.
Solid.
Yeah, I thought this was good.
Mwah.
Photo from the Rosa, great.
God, I love her. She's fucking cool as shit. It was a pretty cool section. Did get to listen to Billy Corgan, the crazy maniac who thinks water turns the frogs gay.
It is kind of strange how she's the first Mexican to win the NWA, women's belt. That's, shocking.
It's NWA. They don't care about women's wrestling.
No, you're right, mate. Sorry.
People who could do moves.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How dare I?
How dare you? How dare you think this? If you're an NWA fan, I'm very sorry to have just criticised your favourite.
I'm very sorry for you.
I'm very sorry you like really boring wrestling.
Yeah.
Designed for next.
What I'm hoping this is going to see. We're going to see out of this is we're going to see more of the NWA guys coming over, and maybe a chance to do a good invasion angle, which might actually. Yeah, I'd happily see
guy
Aldous
that
again
looks
now.
like the old man from Ren and Stimpy to invade. That's the only guy
Tim Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, he is great for an old dude. No, I'm with you. In all honesty, the NWA is basically collapsing under the weight of it being owned by the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins, who's insane. And, not
But this
really...
should be a damn good female match as well.
Oh, maybe Big Diamond Shad will buy it. They've got loads of good talent in NWA who deserve to be in a better promotion. 100%. Their belt's cool, though.
So, following on from that, we had the MJF and Mox contract signing. It didn't end with somebody going through a table. What did you think of it? And did you think it deserved a score?
I actually ranked this, and I've got quite a lot of notes. Solid MJFing. The hairline joke made me laugh. It's a thing which happens to men. We're all prepped for it as men, so we appreciate the hairline joke. One of my biggest notes is don't say New Jack's name, MJF. He'll find you. Seriously. Out of all of the shit wrestlers, they weren't all shit. That's harsh. I didn't mean it that way.
Don't call New Jack a shit wrestler. He's fantastic.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, strange.
You'll never find me. I could be anywhere.
His job used to be hunting people down. He was a legitimate bounty hunter.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry, New Jack. Please don't find me. My name is Matthew with one T, Strange with no E, and I live in Philadelphia, America.
Good work.
Yeah,
thanks. Right, but anyway, back to the program.
MJF did make a reference to Tully Blanchard being a great wrestler, and that I was like, "Ooh, could MJF end up in 4?"
I still think he should have been. He should have been liking up Ric Flair. He's literally like Ric Flair. Why didn't he mention Ric Flair?
WWE would sue him. It was solid. It went on a bit. That when Mock started talking back, and he called the lawyer Dickwad and called Wardlow Flex Magazine. That made me laugh. Knew the twist was coming, not what it was. He was good moxing at the end, like when he was like, "I get to get creative." I was like, "That's cool," but then he went on to explain how he'd be creative for like a minute, and I was like, "No, you're better in short bursts of madness, Mox.
You're better not explain your entire tactic to them. Just to be like,
when he just goes, get creative and fuck you up." I was like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "And I'll do this sort of fucking you up," and I was like, "No, Mox, you've lost it. Don't explain
you've gone too far."
Otherwise, it was solid. I actually really enjoyed this promo. I think I gave it a B.
Enjoyed it thoroughly, but it should be good.
Any criticisms? Good.
No, I thought it was good. There was good heel work. And the thing I said at the beginning, the two most over people to that crowd, not including Jericho coming out and Jericho's music, were Mox and were MJF. MJF got the biggest heel reaction and Mox got the biggest cheers and babyface reaction.
A negative comment about this. The only thing I really don't care about is I don't need to see him squash some jobber geek lawyer. Don't need that.
He should have. It was funny.
I think the obvious is. I think the obvious is. It was an attempt to try and not make their babyface an idiot and yet keep him being a babyface. More on that later.
Yeah. We can.
More on that later. Yeah, solid. Are we agreed on a rank, boys?
Yeah, I think
We're
a
gonna
B
go
is
with
fair.
B.
Take
I
the
think
B
a
with
B
that.
is
I
fair.
think it was very good and I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's fair.
So following on
To
from
a
that,
better storyline.
we had a Santana and Ortiz video promo. What do you think of this promo? And did you give this one a rank?
I didn't rank it. I just wrote solid. I like it. I enjoyed this storyline. I enjoy Proud and the Powerful. I'm excited to see where this goes. If I'm honest, I enjoy mid-cardy sort of battles more than the upper tier. So, and because I don't enjoy watching Mox wrestle. Yeah, anybody?
Here, really, it's a good build to what we're going to get. Hopefully, we'll get a nice, good match between the two of them, and it should be good and solid. And what more is there really to say?
The ultimate dream is that Brody and the Dark Order come down to kick fuck out of Proud and the Powerful because Sue joined them on BTE.
I mean, that would be S tier shit. That would be fantastic. But I don't think it's going to happen, sadly.
Nah.
So following on from that was Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers versus Janela and Sonny, Pillman and Griff Garrison. Opening up this, we had an Eddie Kingston promo, which I thought was fucking brilliant.
He's great.
He's great.
Such a good talker.
As much as we say about Mox and MJF promos are just, they're solid anyway. Yeah, Eddie Kingston's one of those as well. Just fantastic.
He did say battle wrong at the end of this match. He went Battle Royale, and I laughed at that. But I think he got so caught up in his own accent that it went a bit off kilter.
So the match ends when Penta pins Pillman Jr. What do you think of the match? What score did you give it?
Well, I've written down my new fave team versus Team Jobber because I love everybody in this team. I love Eddie as a mouthpiece. The match was not as smooth as I'd hoped for their reintroduction as a team. Pillman is obviously going to be great, and they're obviously setting him up to be teamed with Griff, from what I can tell. Otherwise,
Blondes.
Yeah, the match was fine. It was a C rank match for me. It didn't overstep any boundaries. It didn't blow my mind. I'd hoped for a bit more. Maybe I was a bit too hyped up, but it was, fine. No critics.
I thought it was a C. Pretty much the same. It was a good match. It was fine. It was enjoyable. I really like Pillman. I wish he'd stop saying looks like his dad, because I don't think he looks anything like his dad.
No, not at all. They don't even have a similar haircut.
I was going to say, yeah.
Just let him stand on his own 2 feet, boys.
Yeah.
He will.
Him and Griff. I don't mind you doing the new take on the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah, I like that.
If you can pull it off, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
So start doing some of the old, have them be the 2 guys who are filming shit backstage and showing it when you make them a proper team. I would start having them being the baby faces that exposed heel shenanigans by videoing them behind and releasing the videos, play up the camera, Hollywood Blondes camera thing. But yeah, it was okay.
We're doing a camera hand action on Dark when they were together. Right.
Yeah, that's the Hollywood Blondes thing. That was the old Pillman and Stone Cold Steve Austin
I know nothing about the Hollywood Blondes. The only thing I know about Pillman is he manipulated the industry to get rich, kidnapped somebody's wife, and had a gun. That
was all with Austin. That was all with Austin.
Yeah, I think this was a real good match. It was solid. I enjoyed it. I think Pillman's going to be a breakout star in a few years. I don't care for Sonny or Janela anymore. They're just fucking jobbers to me now. Sorry, boys, but you've lost it for me. Griff will be all right. He'll be a good Janetti to Pillman. But, I think it was solid. I really enjoyed it.
C?
B.
Did you say B or C?
C.
Oh, it's a C all round, lads. I think we're all agreed that match was fine.
It was passable.
The problem with this show, everything's okay.
It was not a great show.
No, it's not. I've got a D come in.
Yeah. We got a D. I can see a big letter D in my notes coming up. Following on from that, we had the Dark Order promo. We talked about it earlier. What did you think of the promo? Did you give it a score?
My first note was Evil Uno's mic wasn't on when he walked out, which made me laugh.
Of course it wasn't. It's fucking WCW.
I did enjoy the meme dance coffin reference for those of us who are
I
from
love
the
that.
internet.
That was beautiful. And then having 10 inside the coffin and they all like cheer was brilliant. Thought it was great.
And all the lawnmowers, which means BT was canon.
I kind of hate this, I've got to say, because it's just like, I love that as a BTE joke, but it was just like, if you're some person that just watches the 2 hours of Dynamite, you'll be like, why the fuck have they got lawnmowers? And Jericho was like, I don't understand why they have lawnmowers. There were so many people questioning the lawnmowers. It was so weird.
This was a problem that the Raptor pointed out. Why were the Dark Order suddenly a bunch of goofs?
Yeah.
It's all right when they're a bunch of goofs on BTE because BTE exists
Solely in that world.
Making BTE canon, you've got to be very careful. If your characters are not being the same characters they are on the main screen, don't turn the Brody Lee cut a brilliant promo where he said people laughed at us, they did this, and he cut the promo and he's like, we spent our money and got all this stuff to celebrate, and then it was Silver being an idiot again, and I mean, it was just like
Brody not high-fiving Silver at the start was fucking gold. Like if they just left it at that as opposed to overdoing it, you know, when he went for the high five and Brody just moved his hand.
That was beautiful.
Like, I properly laughed during that. Yeah, it's I think they're getting ready to kick Silver out because I think they know Silver's sort of over in his own little way. And I reckon we'll get the split up soon, so Kenny can join. Whatever. We've discussed my many theories on this. Should have opened with this either way, even though it was clumsy and a bit shit. They should have opened
with it 100%. But the best thing that happened in this was TJ becoming a thing again.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that saved this for me.
But that wasn't in this section. That's at the end of the show.
Oh, no. Sorry. That's in my notes.
End of the show. Don't, unless it was in yours. We didn't get this till the end of the show on my one.
Didn't you? Oh. They went down and talked to her and signed the contract with Una.
But they Morg, I assume you got to watch Dark Order come out to get Tay Conti at the end, not in this section.
Yes, I got that at the end. Yeah.
Oh, gee, it makes more sense where if it would have been in here. Yeah, Nick, that wasn't in our section.
Oh,
that's
sorry,
not
boys.
in the version we watched.
Oh, okay.
Then Nightmare People ran out. My note is, oh boy, Nightmare People.
My favorite people, the Nightmares.
The Nightmare People. Weird finish. Like, if they'd have come out and been badass and left, kind of cool. But this all went into some fights. Then Brody left and came back, and
yeah, it was really awkward.
Yeah, just not good. Like, you could have gone with the humor and kept the you could have kept the coffin dance, 10 in the thing, the missing the high five,
and just left it at that. You didn't need the Silver beat down. You didn't need.
Yeah.
Right.
It's over.
Are we ready?
We're going to move on to the S rank. We're moving on to the.
We're moving on to our 5 minutes of women's.
Oh fuck me! Do we have to, boys? I'm drunk enough to discuss this.
Big Swole versus Penelope, Rebel, and Britt. Though Britt wasn't in the match at all. Handicap match. Swole wins after Rebel hits Ford with a crutch. D. What did you think of the match?
Fuck off.
Bad start.
Fuck off, wrestling.
Rebel, who is one of the best women's wrestlers they've actually got there on like technical skill. Her gimmick is I don't know what I'm doing, even though she does fucking moonsaults from the second rope. The top turnbuckle run that went wrong.
The only good note I've got about this is my only good note is that I like Britt Baker's Cody mask. That was the only thing I liked about the whole thing, where she had the Cody mask on.
It was bad. Nobody looked good.
No,
it was
fucking
clumsy
awful.
in places. It's a fucking D. Fuck that noise. Into the trash it goes. But I don't think Big Swole is hard. I don't think Rebel can wrestle. I don't think Penelope Ford came out looking good.
No, it made all the characters look weaker in this. Anybody got anything good to say about this?
No.
Cool.
Our women's expert opened with basically fuck this match.
Yeah.
That was terrible. It's so disappointing.
We've just mentioned it. We had the Anna Jay and Brody Lee come out and offer Tay Conti a contract with the Dark Order. Then we had Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy in a tables match. Now, I can't score this because I didn't see most of the match as far as I'm concerned.
Before we get on to me angrily ripping on this, we've missed the Hangman and Bucks.
We have, yes, sorry. So after the Dark Order promo, we had Hangman and the Bucks promo, video backstage promo. What did you think of that?
It was great. Matt Jackson is the best of those talkers, and he can sell things with real drama. Just leaning on Nick to fill in his lines worked really well. Hangman looks great and is the best actor, and is arguably too good for professional wrestling.
Yeah.
But Hangman could. Hangman is The Rock if The Rock could act and didn't need to rely on being The Rock to be in films. And I love Rock films, but when you watch a Rock film, you're not watching it to see The Rock play a character unless it's Southland Tales, which nobody except me and Muir have seen.
I've seen it.
You watch. Oh fuck! Cool. Where he actually acts like a weird, nervous, crazy man.
Yeah.
And then switches back to Hangman is great. The fucking cracked mirror was very Lucha Underground.
That was great. The cracked mirror showing, his tortured soul and, all that bollocks.
I'm going to pass this on to our elitist film expert. No, go on, Morg.
I was just going to say, we've mentioned before that we think Hangman is the best actual actor out of them. So his facial expressions throughout the entire thing, that it was almost as if it was something he didn't want to do.
He didn't.
We're relying on the fact that his acting is so good. I can't remember what the series was. There used to be a series me and my friends watched, and the acting was so good in it that we could always tell what was going on with what a character was thinking, because the acting was so good. You could tell by their facial expressions. And this, I'm hoping, is going to be exactly the same. That came across so like, I didn't want to do this. He felt so, and feeling guilty and bad. And it's all setting up for him to be betrayed by FTR now, I think. Hangman has got to come out as the conquering babyface. Do not turn him heel out of this. Not when he's...
Well, he had the 2 beers on the side ready for them, and they didn't show up.
I didn't thought that. Oh, look at Nick.
He had 2 beers on the side waiting for them, and they hadn't shown up.
Oh, he's been betrayed.
Yeah.
Because they were doing 3 at the ring as opposed to 4. More.
Yeah. Well,
I can't say 4 without sarcastically repeating it and holding up 4 fingers. You guys didn't see that, but I literally went 4.
No, I do the same thing now as well.
Myself.
The other issue, the other side of it you could look at, he had bought the beers for the Young Bucks as trying to go, I'm sorry. Like,
he knows they don't drink.
Yeah, that's the only other way you could have looked at it. But I think that it's the betrayal that he's gone, I do not want to lose to the Young Bucks. I cannot take being in their shadow again, so I have to betray them so they don't beat me. I don't care if I get beaten, but I can't be beaten by the Young Bucks. But he still wants to be mates with them, so it's, it's really good storytelling. Basically.
It's really good storytelling. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So are we giving it an A? Are we giving it an S? What are you feeling,
I would give it an A. I think it was.
I think it was an A. I think it was solid.
Yeah.
Strong. It's one of the most for 2 minutes or whatever it was. It's one of the best moments in the show, and it really fucking stands out.
It just shows that you don't need to use all this time. Just be concise. Tell a good story. Get out
and make sure you've got Hangman in there.
Yeah.
So Sammy, remember how much we hated Hangman?
Yes, mate.
Sammy Guevara versus
and the Dark Order.
Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy tables match. I couldn't score it because I didn't get to see most of the match, or at least that's how it felt. Sammy wins after suplexing Hardy through a table. Then Cassidy
before
comes
you start,
go on.
Before you start, did you see half of this match? Because I think I saw all of it.
Nope.
Right? Did you see? Sorry, Matt Hardy put himself through 2 tables just randomly.
Nope, I didn't see Matt Hardy go through a single table.
Okay, because he went through multiple tables, and they basically went, "Oh, that doesn't count because his opponent didn't put him through."
I saw one of those.
One of those, and we actually commented that was good work by Jericho covering that, because obviously they're trying to tell the story, and that was good work by Jericho doing the cover of right. It only happened once on the one we watched, but I thought that was really good work by Jericho to cover the fact that they obviously want to do the spot, but officially the spot ends the match, and it's one of those things as rules only count when they need to count. But it was good cover by Jericho to say that doesn't count. You've got to be put through the table.
But you shouldn't do that spot twice.
Muir,
No.
I'll give you a run through of what we saw. These are
Okay,
my
cool.
notes in order. My first note is we have 7 minutes to have this match because I checked the play time. There were 7 minutes for this match.
Okay.
The match started, and then it cut back, and everybody was bleeding. Don't know why anyone was bleeding. There was just bleeding, and they were like, "Oh, in the break,
hit
people
by
was
a
bleeding."
chair.
The editing in this episode was shit.
It was fucking awful.
The twist of fate onto the chair was fucking cool, looked badass.
Yeah, I said that also.
What we saw was, from our perspective, did we even see the start of the ringing of the bell? I can't remember.
Don't think so. I can't remember.
This was a match for me too. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I got a perfect match. This was terrible for me also, but I think I saw more of it.
Our entire match was we did see the beginning. The match started, it went to a break, it came back, Sammy was bleeding. Matt Hardy jumped out the ring through a table. Jericho went, "You can't do it, that doesn't count." They went into the ring, he twisted Sammy on a chair, set up a table with a chair under it, and Sammy reversed it, and that was the entire match in 7 minutes.
You've only missed one other time he got put through a table by accident and they botched it on the side. That's all you missed that I remember seeing. But, yeah, it was terrible. What was this?
Then Orange Cassidy ran past in the background and we spotted it because the cameraman obviously wasn't fucking ready.
Yeah.
Last 10 minutes of this show were bollocks and badly edited, badly sorted. And
you get bits like the bit that was beautiful, actually artistic, merited stuff. And then you go to this bollocks where they can't even film a show properly.
Morg, we watched the same thing. Do you have any feelings beyond what I do of what the fuck? This was the main event.
Yeah.
The main event.
This match.
Had plot.
It's had build-up. This match should have been ranked. We should have been expecting an A out of this match. I was expecting an A.
Yes.
I was expecting a tables match. I was expecting a Dudley Boys run in, Jeff to turn up, Edge and Orton to start fighting their way across the back because their match is still going on. And it was just like we came back and all of it. And Raptor turned to me and was like, "Why is he bleeding?" It must have happened in the break. I don't know.
He got hit by a chair.
Brilliant.
I couldn't give it a D because I didn't see enough of it to decide whether it was a D.
I gave it a D because they presented to me an incomplete product that they didn't bother to fucking
that's
fix
the problem.
with editing.
You can't look at this from the wrestling point of view.
Maybe this is what I should be angry about later. I'm really angry.
I think maybe you should. I think maybe you should.
This show is just poor. I'm sorry.
This show was very stilted and it didn't seem to go anywhere. I think this is I've got to say this is the worst Dynamite that they've done, which isn't bad in over a year because this is the first time I thought it was actually legitimately bad. There were 2 high spots in this that I can think of that were real high spots. None of the matches were amazing.
Especially
the lack of picture-in-picture for Fight TV. TNT pay you a lot of money. That's good, and you get a lot of money from the adverts.
Yeah.
Fight TV is how a lot of us watch it in our way of trying to support you. We don't watch it on ITV where you get some support. We specifically go for Fight TV because it's our way of being able to support AEW. And I thought this is the first week it's been this bad. We've had one other time, I think, where we've missed big chunks of a match, but this was terrible.
Boys, there were only 2 basically conclusive matches set for the story in this episode.
This is late days WCW.
Hold on, let me go.
Okay, sorry.
Only 2 matches were designed to be conclusive parts to the story. It was Best Friends versus FTR at the conclusion of the gauntlet match that we've been building up to lead into the next story. And it was the end of this Sammy Matt arc. These were the 2 conclusive things we had story 2. These are the 2 highest moments of your storyline show, and they should be the 2 things that are presenting your product. If you're going to only watch one match in a wrestling show, you expect to watch the main event, realistically. both the main event and the conclusion of the Tag Gauntlet tournament were fucked by editing breaks, and they didn't fix it. They took the product you watch, which apparently had faults, and somehow decided to cut out half of both of those matches. That is not just bad editing. That's fucking stupid. It's literally clipping your own product. And it's clipping the highlights of your product. It's delivering a bunch of roses, but you've cut the heads off them. You've got the leaves and the spikes. Cool. Still a rose. It's alive. Awesome. Where's the lovely looking smelly bit? Oh, you didn't want that.
You need to hold back on this for a moment.
Okay, calm me, Morg. Okay, yeah.
So after that, we had the Cassidy comes out and brawls with Jericho. Brawling with Jericho was good. We've seen those two brawl. They know how to brawl well. And that ended the show. Overall for this Dark, I'm going to give it a D. I know we usually go through the rankings, but this was not a good episode of Dark.
No. It was a bad episode of Dynamite. It was just awful.
I meant Dynamite, yes.
Yeah, no, it's fine, Morg. I think the other issue is because we were so hyped after the Brody ending. We're just like, yeah, what are they going to do? Come on, let's see this. And then it's just like, let's just crash this train off the fucking bridge, boys.
Boop, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first one with fans, but nope. Save it, Matthew. Save it.
Also, I'll talk about this later. Yeah, D. D from me, boys.
D.
4.
So there you have it. That is our review this week's Dynamite. Unfortunately to say, that was not one that we particularly enjoyed. So
the Hangman scene.
Apart from Hangman, moving on from that, this would be the area where we would answer any questions that have been sent in. We have not had any questions. If you would like to send us questions, please do. Wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Was this the first Dynamite you decided to watch, and are you now thinking that we are terrible people for telling you should watch Dynamite? I actually had someone ask me the other night on a Discord call I was on, as someone, I've just followed WWE, should I watch AEW? And I went yes.
And do you feel bad about that?
I've forgotten how bad this Dynamite was, because I would have said, but don't watch this week's. And I might message him and say, listen to our podcast this week, don't watch it, don't do that to yourself.
Morg, I can help you and our audience. This week AEW put all of All Out, the first one, for free on their YouTube channel. Watch that, it's great.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Versus Kenny and stuff. It's fucking wicked.
I love that match.
So good.
So, WrestleOpinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, WrestleOP1 on Twitter. We will answer your questions. Now, it is that time of the week where Mr. Strange gets angry about something. Now, I'd given him a subject to get angry about, but I believe that may have now gone by the wayside, and we may be moving in to your new rant.
These are the notes I took for you, Morg, on the piece of paper. Oh, they're gone. Right. Look, you fox. We are watching a wrestling show. You are the brand new wrestling television program. You are trying to bring together the indie stars. You're trying to take that sports NJPW theme, cross it with a bit of Chikara, and bring that to the mainstream. You are trying to take on Big Daddy V with the indestructible empire of the WWE. You are a millionaire who owns 2 fucking American football teams, a real football team, and your own wrestling fucking channel. How can you put this product forward? Fuck the fucking world, man. I am a trained chef. I spent most of my life cooking food for people. And you get things wrong in chefing, you fuck up meals, they get sent back. But you know what? When you've been presented with a meal and you've gone, oh, it's not great, what you do is you recook it, or you replate it, you dress that shit up. If somebody sends their meal back because it's not been cooked properly, you make sure their next one is fucking perfection. When you have a TV show and that you've been riddled with a couple of production problems, I can tell from what Muir's told me that there were sound issues, there were problems going through this. And, you know, you've had sound and camera and production issues since the start, but for some reason you won't fucking deal with them. But we've learned to deal with some of these. We can deal with the mics being off. We can deal with JR's fucking rambling and occasionally the mic's not cutting on or off at the right time. We deal with it. We look and go, meh, production products. When you have the conclusion to your one fucking storyline between your rising new star and a man who was part of one of the most famous fucking tag teams of all time, a man who got himself over and saved Impact and Ring of Honor with his fucking expanded universe so well they took him to the WWE again, against a kid who has driven a worked shoot because he accidentally injured one of his heroes in a fucking match that he is renowned for. Sammy Guevara's first fucking table match against Matt Hardy. That must have been fucking joy to him. He must have been sat there with his little 22-year-old heart going,
yeah.
I mean, I get to fight fucking Matt Hardy in a tables match and he's going to put me over. I get to fucking win. And then you cut it down to 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And don't even show the majority of the match. When you have your new rising heel tag team who are in an emotional storyline with another character who's your best fucking actor. And they're at the conclusion of a set of matches that are rolling through to build this new tag team to obviously take the world tag belts. The match you cut all of is the finale. Oh, we can't get rid of the Bucks match. They're really good. We like them. We've shown the thing now. Cool. Just cut out the conclusion. Nobody actually cares how they win the match. I cared how you fucking won the match. You have millions upon millions of dollars. Maybe let a couple of the guys who job every week go and stop paying them and hire a production man. Go get a fucking TV sound engineer. Jesus Christ. I appreciate you've got some of the greatest wrestlers in the fucking world. I appreciate that you're trying to bring in this Japanesey style and you want to mix in a variety of different things to show really good wrestling. But it doesn't matter if you don't show the fucking wrestling. Jesus. If you end on a high note, lead in with that high note, people will follow it. It's called story writing.
I still can't believe they didn't start with the Dark Order. It hurt my storytelling heart that they didn't start with the Dark Order. It made no fucking sense. Oh, God.
I can appreciate, like, as Morg said, like, Morg we almost let him get some defensive points in when he was like, you know, you don't want to be too harsh on them for their production values. I can't blame the match because I didn't get to see it all. That's where the problem lies. I can watch all of the top tier fucking Chikara matches on my YouTube playlist I want, but it doesn't fucking matter because no one else is going to watch them. I can talk about how good that match is, but it doesn't matter because nobody's seen them. But I can take that match and send it to them and they can watch all of it and they'll go, pretty good. The Chuck Taylor man has an invisible hand grenade. Oh my God, he marches around the ring. Cool. I can't send anybody that Sammy match.
No.
Do you want to watch 7 minutes of apparently like a 20-minute match where loads of cool stuff happens off camera? No? What about this match from earlier where you have to watch the beginning and the middle of it at the same time? Oh yeah, that's wicked. I can't wait to watch the Star Wars films and watch Return and Empire at the same time so I really know what's going fucking on. Jesus! I don't understand how you can put so much money into getting this talent and pulling people from around the world, trying to build connections, bringing in Thunder Rosa, you know, tying in with all these different people. Yet you can't hire a fucking cameraman or an editor who can go, oh yeah, that's actually the match. Shall we show them that? Nah, mate, they don't need to know how Sammy bled. Fuck them. Tony Khan, you're not listening to this, but hopefully somebody will send it to you. One of our dozens of fans will send you this, and you will listen to this angry, grey-haired, 36-year-old Englishman who has never run a TV show. But he does watch your product, and he is a film fucking elitist. Just take something out, cut things down, but show us the fucking matches. That's the point of the show. This was some Game of Thrones endings. I didn't even watch the last season of Game of Thrones, but what I hear, they just punched everything. I mean, I stopped watching after season 1, and from what I'm aware, I didn't miss anything.
No, you didn't.
George R.R. Martin can't write women. Fight me. Yeah, you expect a TV show. You expect a product. As much as I would love for it all to be about the wrestling and the phenomenal stuff, if you don't show us and you don't explain and you don't give it heart, no one's gonna care. If you're just gonna have the best friends have the shit kicked out of them as the final running, you might as well have had Hangman grab Buck's legs against FTR. It didn't matter. You could have moved that if you just wanted to show the Bucks off, just show the Bucks off. They can be betrayed at any point. It's a betrayal. Enemy doesn't matter. Cool. Just fucking work on your TV show. We've had bad sound. We've had bad everything. I am not accepting fucking cutting matches. Not when I dedicate like several hours of my week to enjoy this show and tell other people to enjoy it, and you can't even be bothered post-editing to fix your fucking problems. God, it's some fucking Vince tier bullshit. Just put it out and say it's good. They'll have to watch it anyway. I think I've burnt myself out, boys.
It's just mediocrity. That's the issue with it. It's like
it's not mediocrity. It's actively shit.
Yeah,
mediocrity. I'd go. Mediocrity is the dark where we went. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's mediocrity. But you know what? We got to watch all of every dark match.
Yeah. No, you could.
Well, some of us did.
Sorry, Morg.
Sorry, Morg.
So I try to end it on a high.
Yeah, end it on a high. Just fix your fucking. Just show me the things. If I'm
just
gonna have to.
Just drop one of the many promos and show the whole match. You know.
I mean, who wanted to watch a Sammy versus Matt Hardy main event table match anyway? They bled for that. Both of them bled so we could watch 7 minutes of badly cut shit.
Yeah. 100% agree with you, mate.
So it's time to move on now. Now we've had our rant, and it's time to move on to our discussion. And our discussion has come from someone. Mr. Muir, I'll let you lead on with this.
Okay, well, this has come from the Raptor, which is nice of her to help me out because I normally have to do this. Right, so the discussion for this week is quite a simple one. We've seen some good examples of this on Dynamite. Seen some bad examples of it. What makes a good promo?
Nothing means nothing means. I'm
Unjustifiably.
justifiably in a position I'd rather not be in. But the cocaine.
Cocaine makes a good promo. Okay, boys, it's over. Let's carry on.
Cocaine and steroids. You just have to deal with the fact your wrestlers will explode by the age of 40. Somebody go seriously, because I'm just going to keep.
For those that don't know, Mr. Strange is referring to the Macho Man.
If you have not seen the Macho Man Cream of the Crop promo, go to YouTube right now. Stop this podcast. You can come back. This is important, but it's not as important as the Macho Man Cream of the Crop promo. It's him and Mean Gene Oakland, and it's just gold. He pulls out so many little pots of cream. I think there's like 4 or 5. They just keep coming out of his pockets.
We need to discuss more about the Macho Man's promoing style, which was, I'm walking to a promo I know I need to do. I'm going to grab an inanimate object on that way to it and then discuss it while putting down everybody else. It was
he had a promo based around bins where he picked up a bin on the way there and then was telling how he was going to put them in the trash. He had a dustpan and brushing one against Ricky Steamboat, I believe, and he said he was going to sweep him up and stuff.
Yep.
Not everybody can promo like the Macho Man, and as much as I made the cocaine steroids joke, he did actually stop doing those.
He had a fantastic gift of the gab. Let's be honest here.
He got his job in Spider-Man to be Buzzsaw because he went.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw. He went in and did the promo. Did his interview audition completely in character.
God, he was gold. Fuck you, Hogan.
Yeah, but
didn't fart. It was just a.
Sure you didn't, you liar.
No, it's a chavvy scooter from what I can tell that just went down the street, which is why it sounded like a bunch of angry bees in a jar. Somebody, this is the perfect opportunity for Morg to talk about CM Punk.
Yeah.
We don't give him these shots very often. Normally we
rip on him. So, believe it or not, my favorite promo of all time is not actually the pipe bomb. We will come back to the pipe bomb because I was going to mention it. My favorite promo of all time is a Kurt Angle promo against John Cena. And Kurt Angle is being goofy. It was when John Cena was doing his rapper gimmick.
Dr.
And
Thuganomics.
doing the Dr. Thuganomics. And Kurt Angle's got his hat on sort of sideways, and he's doing his bit, and he's, you know, being really goofy, and I'll give you your mad props. And then Kurt Angle drops the line on Cena, and I can't remember what the particular line is. And Cena goes, "You say that again, and I'll." And Kurt Angle just snaps, just gets right up in his face, and goes, "You'll what? You'll what?" And just you suddenly went from goofy starting Kurt Angle to I'm the Olympic gold medalist wrestling machine, and I will tie you up in knots. And then he ends it with a silly rap, but it's very straight. It's Kurt Angle, and here's my rap: you mess with me, and I will make you tap. And it is my favorite promo of. It is my favorite promo, one of my favorite promos of all time. It's that energy, that being able to skip between the comedy. I mean, obviously, being a good talker helps.
Yeah.
But that promo has stuck with me. What makes that a good promo to me is it's the way that Kurt Angle's character comes out, and he just flips straight away.
It's that inciting of violence that he could instantly turn into what he actually is, but he's willing to have a joke and play around. But if you fuck with him, he'll just destroy you.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
I'm going to go through 4 promos I've been thinking whilst we've been talking.
Yep.
Different styles and different kinds of person. We're going to start with the big 2 of the earlier age, and then I'm going to go to Jericho.
Yep.
So, John Cena, The Rock, arguably 2 of the most famous, biggest film star wrestlers ever. John Cena's promo game, from what I understand, is pretty good because he's actually quite self-depreciating and he's got an actual sense of wit to him. But John Cena does have a habit of making slightly snidey marks that will put people down in, which has hurt people's careers in the past.
Yeah.
But when they put him up against The Rock basically fucking destroyed John Cena.
It was beautiful.
With like the fucking Fruity Pebbles promo and stuff. Now, The Rock did put people down, but The Rock was never afraid to put himself down and always sold himself as an overly arrogant character. I can't think of many times where I can look and go, The Rock just fucking buried that guy.
Billy Gunn.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, Billy Gunn.
That's the only one that I can think of that he just destroyed. But Billy Gunn was not helping himself at that point. But yeah, carry on.
Whereas if you want to look at an actual gold tier promo, look at the stuff between Jericho and Goldberg when he finally got his little push to go against him, where Jericho essentially had to go out and do the promo to make Goldberg look good because Goldberg couldn't promo. So Jericho had to go out, shit talk him, but make him look good. And Jericho has done this with several other wrestlers in wrestling history. He might not always be able to. It's not always like, the perfect best fucking promo game. I mean, he's fucking great, don't get me wrong, but he never makes the other person look like a bitch.
And that's something about making a good promo is you've got to try and get yourself over, but you can't bury everybody else.
Nothing means nothing means.
That buried Jack Tully, and you know it did.
And let me point, the president of the World Wrestling Federation. Sorry. Yeah, you guys are going to have to start talking because I will just do Macho Man impressions for the rest
for me,
of
the
this.
2 most... So there are also... So there's my favourite promo, which I've discussed. A second favourite, you just mentioned The Rock. That man just had charisma.
God,
yeah.
Quick bit in The Rock versus John Cena. John Cena schooled The Rock when they went into the live mic promo, though, because The Rock had notes written on the back of his hand, and John Cena pointed it out.
Oh,
yeah, but pointing that out is a shitty thing to do.
Yeah, that is shitty.
But it worked very well for their promo. That promo.
Yeah.
But John Cena's promos, usually his self-depreciating promos, have always been his better promos. He is really bad at cutting promos and other people that don't cut them off at the knees too much. So for me, probably the three, I was about to say the three most iconic promos. There is a Rock promo that I was going to mention very quickly, which is when he does an impression of Kane, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Rikishi, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That promo is well worth watching. It is fucking hilarious. That is the Rock on top tier.
That was great.
That one is absolutely top tier Rock promo. But the three most iconic promos for me of all time. You can talk about your Psalms, you can talk about your John 3:16, but Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass."
Yeah,
it was intense. It was intense. It hit a catchphrase. It launched arguably the biggest, and the biggest star. And that promo was just the intensity of it. Austin cutting that promo. The next one is Mick Foley's anti-hardcore ECW promos. The one to Tommy Dreamer about you can sit there and you can be loved. But these fans, they wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, and he just gets angrier and angrier. And Mick Foley is a genius at promos, but he used to just stand around at home thinking about them. And his wife said you could see she knew when he was in promo land because he'd just be standing there staring into space, clenching his hand and clenching his fist.
Nice.
And of course, the other iconic promo for me, and a thing that makes a good promo, and we've touched on this a little, is when you can work shoot the promo. This was why the MJF promo with Mox was good. Mox had the Austin character, the Austin 3:16, in the promo that we had that we mentioned earlier, the contract signing. Mox laid down the law. He almost had the Kurt Angle thing where he kind of went, yeah, I'm happy-go-lucky. You've taken away the paradigm shift, so that just means I can smack you around the head with a barbed wire baseball bat. I know I go back to this, but that's the Mox character. The obvious one for me is the pipe bomb promo.
Oh, what a surprise!
The work shoot. It's the work shoot, and which MJF did in his promo. The making the receding hairline. The you're mainly into the kind of the hardcore, because he listed off all the hardcore wrestlers. The ECW hardcore wrestlers, not the guys in ECW. Like, he didn't mention Chris Benoit or Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio or Lance Storm or Shawn Douglas. Any of the great technical. He went specifically for the hardcore guys who were known for basically hitting each other with trash can lids. And the work shoot is another thing. If done well, could be and then you can get the work shoot done badly, like sometimes when DX used to do it or Triple H does it. He's not actually as good as I love Triple H, especially now. I used to hate him when we all hated him. Now,
Reign of Terror.
Yeah, the Reign of Terror was terrible. Triple H now with his pseudo indie, wanting to actually, because he likes wrestling. I like,
unlike Vince.
But when he used to do the little snidey breaking kayfabe comments, they just always came across as very snide and as if he was trying for the pop.
Yeah. I would feel
you guys
remiss.
are missing one of the most important babyface promos. Like Hard Times, or like Cody's promo earlier this year, where he was talking about calling Jericho a carny succubus, shit like that.
I was going to go with a 4chan joke.
Okay, go on.
The Jake the Snake Aces and Eights promo with the which nobody got, with all the different references to, you got 21, I've got a 22, being a reference to a 22 caliber pistol and stuff like that. But it sounds like I'm the only one who's seen it.
No, I know that is another iconic promo. The Jake the Snake. You play black.
References.
You want to play blackjack. You've got 21. I've got 22. Yeah. Sorry, Muir. You were about to mention one of the other iconic promos that I completely missed, and is another of my favorite promos.
You can say what you want about Dusty Strange. He was a terrible booker in some ways, and he always put himself over. But he could fucking promo. He could talk to the American hick. And we all know it, and that's what the roads are good at. You
He
can say
used to-
anything else about the roads, but they can inspire the average American man. They are fantastic at it.
He could talk them into the seats.
Yeah. No, it's like the inspiring babyface underdog promo is something that I think needs to be mentioned. It's just like being able to make the crowd feel better about themselves while hyping yourself up, making yourself look more important, but then getting them to
inspire people to be on your side.
Yeah.
I've dined with kings and queens, and I've lived on pork and beans.
Yeah.
Is that from? I don't think I've ever seen
it. Go and look up
Dusty's
Hard Times promo. It is.
I know the one. I've just never got round to watching it. I know it's like I've never watched The Great Escape out of principle. Everybody's seen The Great Escape. I haven't. Fuck you.
It's just so contrary. Fuck you.
I don't think I've ever seen The Great Escape. You know.
Oh,
you must have done. You've lived through an English Christmas.
I intentionally don't watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, back on track.
Yeah, no,
I think there's got to be said something about the ability to inspire the crowd, because a lot of these are very smarky promos we're talking about. We're not talking about the Mark promo, which is very important.
Yeah, no, the actual like mainstream wimpy, like Cody's original promo back against Jericho, which she cited, was great, and we all cheered it and said it was S rank. And Morg got really excited about baby faces because they're his favorite. Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's because we're so used to. It all changed last week. We got so used to the age of the faces in AEW. Yeah. John Moxley's first paradigm shift promo was fucking golden.
Yeah.
And it's for a rough kid, it sold more with me, you know, this sort of fucking paradigm shift, get the fuck up, punch people, give a fuck. And I was like, yes, Moxley. Woo! So no, you're right. It's why we love a good face.
Do you think that promos change? And I'm going to mention the pipe bomb again, but do you think the promos changed since then, that we don't get those classic babyface promos enough anymore since that?
I think CM Punk did more harm to the industry than good with that promo, as much as it may needed to be said, but I think it's caused everyone to go, there's so many smarks out there that they just want these smarky promos instead of actually doing a promo, you know, in character. They're always wanting these out of character nods. They go, oh my god, it's an out of character nod. No, sometimes just do it in character, guys. Come on.
Like Cody's, that Cody promo.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it does hurt it doesn't hurt the industry, but you know, it hurts that everyone was trying to copy it. Like the pipe bomb was a good promo, but I didn't need 10 people that are a lot worse at speaking doing the same promo again because they're trying to be CM Punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the promo that broke the internet, and then
then everybody else wants to do it, but they don't realize they'll only do it by innovating it themselves instead of just doing the same thing. Yeah.
Poor Phil.
So who are the best promo guys in AEW?
Well, MJF,
Cody, Jericho, MJF. Those three are just off the top of my head.
So I think Moxley's also fantastic for the audience.
Morg missed what I said. Hold on. Jericho, Cody, MJF, Moxley. Currently. Let me think through the others.
Kingston.
Kingston. Britt, when she's actually got some setup and isn't milking the idea, has been gold. Kingston is fucking wicked and I love him. God,
Who are the anti-promo? Who would you never want to see on the mic?
Oh, who are the worst promos? Hager.
Luchasaurus.
Dean. No, I'm calling him Dean. This is a thing we're doing.
Okay.
Dean?
Dinosaur. It's his name.
Right.
It's the new gimmick for Luchasaurus when he has to be more serious and can't just be a dinosaur. So he has to be a man whose gimmick is wearing a mask and being a dinosaur. Dinosaur. It's perfect and I love it.
But yes, who else would you say is the anti-draw when it comes to promos? Who would you see if you saw them holding the mic? You're like, oh no.
Every time I see Marco do anything now, I want to strangle him. I was going to use some dark reference, but I realized I should probably be better than
No, you should be better than that. But yeah.
Where do you rate Sammy?
Oof.
I don't know, because his gimmick is very much be like a sleazy twat.
Yeah.
See, his promos are his cue card promos.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like them. They're solid enough. But
they're original.
Solid. I'd like to see him do more. Yeah, no, that's true. And the tie-in with the Matt Hardy invasion of it last week was actually really cool.
Good.
Shame it led to 7 minutes of shit wrestling. Well, possibly good wrestling. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, true. Who needs a good promo if your match is going to be cut down and fucking ruined?
I think Sammy's all right, having seen him in different things. I think he's just going to need polishing and building up. He's like Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy, when he had that promo with JR talking through him, or his sit and talk with Cody, was fine. But at no point am I going to be like, wow, can't wait to see Jungle Boy talk on the mic. Hi, I'm Jungle Boy. I've got good feelings and I was raised nice. You know, he's a cool guy, but he needs somebody else who can build him up.
So I think finally, to wrap this up, in our AEW history, from what we can remember, what has been our favourite promo?
Cody's, for me. I think it was fantastic.
Yeah. It's the one that stands out. If I had to go for a promo package, it's Jericho's response video package.
That was beautiful.
That was fucking insanely hilarious. If we're just going off Raw in the ring promo, it's Cody with the Jericho challenge stuff. It was wicked. It had soul. We all were fucking ready for it. It was all badass. And he lost. So, yeah. I think it's objectively that one. I'm so glad the ice cream van's outside.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the Cody one. I think that is probably the best. So there you have it. That's our show for this week. That's our thoughts. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more positivity. I'd like to say thanks to Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. If you want to find us, you can find us on Wrestleopinionated on Spotify, on Anchor.fm, and on YouTube. Mr. Muir.
Okay, thank you. And thank you very much for listening. If you could please send us in any stuff, we'd love to discuss what you want to say to us. And if you want to hear anything from us, it would be wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. And over to you, Strange.
Once again, thank you very much for listening. Next week, I promise I will close the window that's only been open because it's been like 700 degrees, so you won't have to listen to mopeds and apparently ice cream vans going past.
It's what people tune in for, mate.
It's what they're here for. They're here for your ice cream van, Strange. We've had a few technical issues, and I'm sorry that if this is one of your first time listening to us, that we are recommending an episode that is not great, but watch last week's episode and hopefully next week's episode and listen to us talk and be more inspired by it. Fuck it. If enough of you listen, I'll do Decepticons next week. Woo! So yeah, please click like, share, subscribe. I don't know what the bell button does on YouTube, but other YouTubers say to click that as well. If you're getting into AEW, All Out, the first main show is now on their YouTube channel. You can watch that. I believe we've reviewed it. We might not have. Either way, watch that and show your friends, share all of our stuff, like it, subscribe it. We will do more. We will answer your questions. Send in your shit. We love having you listen to us. Back to Morg.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.